Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Heinrich, the Real Nuclear Physicist. Today's video, we'll be taking a look at how Leo thinks that Creaky is a globe propagandist and that how globe believers are just being silly.
This con man's doing more damage to the globe than most globe fantasists I know.
What on earth do you mean, Leo? Has Creaky gone into his backyard and started to dig some holes, physically actually trying to damage the Earth? Or are you just more general referencing he's been going around kicking globe models?
He's so bad, so dishonest, so useless, lies all the time to his viewers, either verbally or visually.
Creaky is everything but dishonest. He is a brilliant content creator, and calling him useless says more about your intellectual capacity than it does anything about Creaky. Creaky does not lie to his viewers, and the visual aids that he uses in his videos usually come from accredited sources, and he actually does research to support the points that he's making in any and all of his videos.
Even the average Joe in the street now has cottoned on to this guy and is highlighting the fact this guy's a liar, a con man, misrepresents people.
It's quite brave of a fluff calling somebody a con man when your entire identity revolves around you deceiving people about something as basic as the shape of the earth, and in the process trying to convince them that you are this being of higher intellect because you know something that nobody else knows, the real truth.
We've highlighted him before. We're going to continue highlighting this fraudster until someone on the globe side calls him out.
Did you know there are still people who believe the earth is flat?
Yep, there's many people that believe a flat earth.
Yes, there are still people who believe the earth is flat, no matter how many times it's demonstrated to them that it's not, even by their own peers. And yes, once again, it's Bob and Jeranism. And I'm thinking we can add Dave from the ITRH to that list now as well.
But none of those people believe what you link to the words flat earth. Ridiculous maps, models, straw men, propaganda, lies and misrepresentations. None of them.
If what Creaky shows does not represent a standard fluff, I would like you to demonstrate to me and everybody what a standard fluff is then, without using any points that have been debunked by people like Creaky, Simon, Dan, Dave McKeegan, FTFE, and me. I'm pretty sure you'll find that what you call a standard fluff and what Creaky shows is a standard fluff is one and the same thing.
We're no doubt going to see some more propaganda linked to the words flat earth as you con your viewers and misrepresent people like myself. Like I say, I'm a demonstrable realist. The reason I go that way now is because of dishonest individuals like you, Sunshine.
The propaganda is repeated word by word from fluffs, and then we just come along and show you or tell you where you have gone wrong. Leo, you always claim to be a demonstrable realist. And when somebody demonstrates reality to you, where the earth is proven to be a sphere and not flat, you deny or refuse to believe it. I think you should stop calling yourself a demonstrable realist then.
What if it was? Well, if the earth were flat, gravity would work differently, or maybe not at all. Without the earth's spherical shape, gravity wouldn't pull anything towards the center.
Listen, I don't want to be rude, but listen to how retarded this guy is. Unbelievable. Listen here, Nookie Bear. No one denies the way reality presents itself to us. What you call gravity, whatever's at play there, gravity can be overcome by a gentle breeze. No one denies the way reality presents itself to us.
Insults will get you nowhere, Leo. You claim there is something pulling everything towards the ground, but it's not gravity. Well, what is it then? The reason gravity can be overcome by a breeze is because the gravitational force is directly proportional to mass. You don't see a gentle breeze blowing something heavy away, like a brick, or a car, or a house. You need stronger winds. Why? Because the gravitational force is stronger.
The daft heliocentric stories attached to the way reality presents itself to us are denied because they're quite frankly absurd. Gravity can be overcome by a gentle breeze, therefore isn't man enough for your fantasy world.
A flirt, calling the spherical Earth absurd, is like an astrologer saying astronomy is absurd. Why? Because on the one part, you've got something that's completely crazy, like flat Earth and astrology, calling something that's proven and based on logic, like the spherical Earth and astronomy, absurd.
You, my handsome friend, are probably the worst globe representative I think I've ever come across. The tosh you come out with is ridiculous, embarrassing, so much so that you are waking up people left, right, and centre to the games at play.
If Creaky is the worst globe representative, then Leo, you are by far the worst flirt. Even worse than CC, and that is quite a feat. Like all flirts, it just seems like you are a conspiracy nut. I'm guessing you also believe that there are powers to be trying to control the world, hiding the real truth from everybody, and you, like all flirts, are the only person who seem to notice this. Alio carries on about how Creaky lies and deceives, and fails to mention once how all flirts try to deceive the world and each other. So I think let's leave him there and we end this video for today. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe button. I'm Heinrich, the real nuclear physicist, and I'll see you next time. Today, we'll be taking on 5 questions that Mark Sargent sent a scientist. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Heinrich and I'm the real nuclear physicist. Today's video, we'll be taking a look at Mark Sargent's 2018 Flat Earth Conference opening speech, where he claims that he sent 5 science-based questions to a scientist and they refused to answer.
Some months ago, a German television team contacted me because they had heard about my science challenge and had found a physicist at Georgetown University I could debate.
Let's start there. I highly doubt that anybody from a university would contact a flat earther saying that they found a physicist willing to take on your challenge in a debate. I think rather you sent them an email and said, I'm looking for a scientist, here's 5 questions, I want them to answer, please have them answer and get back to me. Any scientist won't debate something that's already established fact. Debates are for opinions, and it's usually 2 sides of an opinion. You don't debate something that's already proven, because then there's no need for a debate.
They also wanted to make it as easy on the scientist as possible, so their idea was simple. They would record me on video, reading 5 quick science-based questions, and then send that recording over to Georgetown, and he would respond in kind.
Well, there you have it. That's also not a debate. Sending somebody 5 questions and having them answer is not a debate, that's a response. Rather say you requested a response from a scientist rather than saying that a university contacted you to debate a scientist.
This is what I read on camera. 1. Long-distance photography. The mainstream science formula for the curvature of the Earth is 8 inches per mile squared.
That formula isn't quite accurate at all. It's a parabola. And even if the Earth is not a sphere, it's definitely not a parabola. Let's derive a formula that's a bit more accurate. Let's start with Earth having a radius of 6,400 kilometers. Sorry, I'm not going to do the miles conversion for you. With that radius, Earth has a circumference of 40,000 kilometers. This 40,000 kilometers means that 1 kilometer covers an angle of about 0.009 degrees. Using these values, we can calculate a height formula from the point where you stand as h, which is your height, is equal to r, the radius of the Earth, times 1 minus the cosine of the angle between you and your point. However, this equation is still not 100% accurate, as it does not take into account the viewer height or the refraction, but still more accurate than 8 inches per mile squared.
An easy comparison would be the falling rate of 32 feet per second, so 8 inches per mile per mile. 2 miles is 2 times 2 equals 4 times 8 inches, or 32. 3 miles is 3 times 3 equals 9 times 8, or 72, and so on.
So on and so forth. Yes, I understand what you're trying to say, but it's still a parabola. For accurate measurements of the hidden height, just use an online calculator. There's quite a few of them. They take into account refraction as well as viewer height.
At 50 miles, the curvature is 50 times 50 times 8, coming in at over 1,600 feet of curvature. And yet, with HD cameras, we can pull boats back into frame that are well beyond visual range.
Yes, you can pull boats back into view that hasn't gone over the horizon yet. This image of the boat, you'll never be able to pull that back into view, no matter how far you zoom in.
Not only does the new technology clearly show that it's not a mirage, but the same objects can be viewed in infrared and can be targeted ship to ship by beam radar. Can science explain this? They had no answer.
Yes, science can explain this, and in fact science was used to create this. Now, beam radars projected in a conical shape, with most of the energy at the center of the cone. This cone is projected towards the ionosphere, and it gets reflected to cover larger and larger distances.
Number 2, vacuum versus gravity. The force of a vacuum is measured in units of torr, T-O-R-R.
Now, vacuum force is a force proportional to the volume that is evacuated, whereas torr is a unit of pressure, not force.
Even a low-level vacuum can overcome gravity here on the surface.
Even your arms can overcome gravity when you have to throw them up in the air and say, I don't know what's going on. Why? Because gravity is the weakest of all fundamental forces. Gravity is proportional to the mass of an object, and the lower the mass, the lower the gravitational force. That's why it's easy to pick up a pencil, but quite difficult to pick up a mountain.
In building molecule-free chambers for the manufacturing of electronics, a series of massive pumps are needed to create a 99% vacuum. That's -9 torr.
A negative pressure value just means the pressure inside of the container is lower than the pressure on the outside of the container. Or, in other words, the pressure of an object is lower than the surrounding environment's pressure. Having said that, negative pressure just implies a vacuum. The more negative the value, the better the vacuum. But if we take space for an example, space is a near perfect vacuum. So there's nothing in the environment of space to compare it to get a -10 torr value. The space between Earth and the Moon has a value of 1 times 10 to the -11 torr, which is not a negative value, just a very, very, very small value.
And for the remaining 1%, horsepower isn't enough. It can only be achieved by a chemical leaching process. That being said, how is the -10 torr vacuum force of space not ripping off the atmosphere of this world?
The vacuum of space is not ripping the atmosphere of the Earth because vacuums do not suck. They are not vacuum cleaners. Gravity keeps the atmosphere from escaping, and as you go up in elevation, the atmospheric pressure gets lower and lower. That's why it's called a pressure gradient in our atmosphere. And as you reach the upper parts of the atmosphere, the pressure gradient is so small that it's basically a vacuum.
What is gravity? And remember that there are gases that already defy it, like helium, hydrogen, and fluorocarbons.
These gases do not defy gravity. In fact, they work exactly as expected in a gravitational field. I'm going to use a word that flat earthers are quite fond of using to try and disprove gravity, and that's buoyancy. Yes, helium balloons rise, but they do not indefinitely rise. And the only reason they rise is because there's an intrinsic force pulling the more dense atmosphere downwards. Helium reaches a height where the atmosphere above it is less dense than helium itself, so the balloon does not rise anymore. What's stopping it from escaping into space? You guessed it, it's gravity.
Isn't it more logical to suggest the atmosphere is being contained in an enclosed, pressurized system? They had no answer.
Well, if you think about it, gravity is our container. Gravity is the thing preventing the atmosphere from escaping. The fact that you keep saying they had no answer at the end of each question makes me think that either they had answers, you just couldn't understand what they were saying to you, or you made the whole thing up.
Number 3, eclipse shadow. Mainstream science tells us the moon is over 2,000 miles wide, and yet during the 2017 American eclipse, no offense, the moon's shadow was only 70 miles wide, a reduction of over 97%.
I've already made a video on shadows and why the moon's shadow appears so much smaller than the moon itself. So please just go have a look at it. Here's a quick recap. The dark part of the shadow, called the umbra, is the part that we see during the eclipse. Now that's so much smaller than the moon because this
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we will be taking a look at David Weiss, as that is what the poll has decided. So first, before we start, a little just everything that has happened. So it's been, I think, 2 months since the last time I posted a video. It's been a while, and no excuses, but I did get quite busy since the beginning of June, and as you'll see, the wall behind me no longer looks like it used to, the way you used to know it in my videos up until June. So we did some, not remodeling, just repainting and some renovation in the house. So everything got repainted and everything was turned upside down. And nonetheless, I am back and I am better than ever. Definitely will be putting out some videos in the near future. Like I said, just got quite busy with life and work and starting a new job and trying to just juggle everything. But here I am and I'm ready. So today, like I said, we will be taking a look at David Weiss. There was a poll up on my channel today, yesterday, and I think Wednesday, for you to go vote about who I should have a look at. Now, before any of you go down to the comment section and tell me that why am I using Microsoft Edge as a browser and all that, the reason behind this is because this is like my burner account where I use, or that I use to search for any and every flat earther to keep my own just my own algorithm a bit cleaner. So we will be taking a look at David Weiss of DITRH. Let me just get my stuff ready here. So we'll be taking a look at David Weiss from the channel DITRH. So he does have a few aliases and stuff just to verify that I will be taking a look at DITRH as well as David Weiss or some of his interview sorry, I just want to, because it's prompting me to sign in now on my YouTube. So quickly just give me one moment. Let me just get this verification code. I've not received anything yet, but nonetheless, then let's carry on. So today we will be taking a look at glorious David Weiss. So let's start with his channel DITRH. So I have not prepped anything for this. This will be purely unscripted. That's the word I'm looking for. So completely unscripted. So let's see what David Weiss has been getting into. Hacker spills the beans on who hired him. Radiant Technologies. Plasma Geo allows the body to heal itself. The body heals itself if you use whatever that is or not. But let's start. I love Rick and Morty. So let's start with Rick and Morty. Disclaimer, it might play an ad because this is not on my premium.
You believe in the theory of nothing. You believe in...
Okay, let's just dip the audio a bit. And the audio in my ears a bit. Okay. See, it's picking up some static there. Let's do this and see if the static is better. Okay. Hope that solves the problem. So today, the theory of nothing, starting with one of my favorite Adult Swim cartoons, Rick and Morty.
You believe in the theory of nothing. You believe in the Big Bang where nothing exploded and created the entire universe out of nothing.
So this is not from Rick and Morty. This does sound like it's AI generated over it. I do not see the AI disclaimer that YouTube prompts you to add when you use AI in your video. But let's see.
You also believe that the universe is expanding into more nothing. You believe...
So the thing is with the Big Bang, it's not that it came from nothing, it came from we don't know what. It's not came from nothing into nothing. It comes from we don't know what. And the only reason expanding into nothing seems plausible is because we can't see past our horizon. And no, not the horizon on Earth, the horizon of the universe. So we can only see that far into the known universe. We cannot see any further than we currently can. And as the universe expands, we can see how things disappear from us and we can no longer see them. There are not parts of the universe that we know of now that we will be able to see soon. So it's not expanding into nothing, didn't come from nothing. Expanding into we don't know what came from we don't know what. And it's fine to say that you don't know why or what or from where.
Even black holes, which are a bunch of nothing, sucking up everything. You think
Black holes are not a bunch of nothing, and they're not sucking. Black holes work with gravity, so they are sucking just about as much as the Earth is sucking you towards it, as the sun is sucking the Earth towards it. So that's a black hole, and it's a point of infinitely dense matter. It's not nothing again. It's not a theory of nothing. And we've got proof of black holes. We've got photos of black holes. But you know what we don't have a photo of? The flat Earth.
that large masses can bend space, which is basically like saying they can bend nothing. You also think
Saying that large masses can bend space, saying like they can bend nothing. So they don't bend space, they bend space-time. It's a single word. It's one thing that is being bent by gravity. So there's this space-time bending video. I'm not sure from which university it is, but it physically shows how space-time is bent by different gravitational fields. So it's basically a large sheet of some type of stretchy material with different weights placed on it. And then you can physically see the curvature. So that fabric will be the fabric of space-time. And as you place a weight on it, it curves the space-time towards that object. So again, not nothing.
that life itself came from nothing, and that after death there is also nothing. You also believe that rockets work in space.
So again, after death, we don't know what. It's not came from nothing into nothing. It's we don't know from where into, we don't know from what into what, and we don't know what comes in the hereafter. The only people who can tell us what comes in the hereafter is the people who's already there. Now, yes, religion tries to explain different parts of what comes after life, the infinite life after this, your eternity. So that's just an explanation. That's a theory, if you want to call it. And again, there's no proof that any of it is true also. So we don't know what. And again, it's fine to say you don't know. It's better to say you don't know than to pretend that you do know and you make a complete fool of yourself.
Because the rocket's thrust pushes against nothing to move forward, and when
I did a video on how a rocket, I think it was a short, on how a rocket works in space. It's not pushing off of anything. Again, the rocket on Earth is also not pushing off of the Earth. It's due to the expansion of gases inside that pushes the top of your fuel chamber, or whatever contains your fuel, pushes on the top of it, and as it pushes on the top, it expels gas out the bottom. It's basic Newton 3.
when asked for proof of your nothing theories, guess what we get? More nothing.
So asking for proof and getting nothing kind of sounds like, well, everything that Globebusters, the ITRH, Eric Dubay, all of them are doing. And if they try and give proof, you know what happens? The proof shows the opposite. It shows not a flat earth. Oh, here we go. Thanks for watching this AI generated video with a very awkward ending. Wait, no, go back. Is that's too much? Is that supposed to be New Zealand? Look, something's already wrong with Australia. It's looking very square to me. But there's no chance that New Zealand is this far displaced from Australia. So, again, the people who think they know everything just proves that they know nothing. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Opposite of nothing is everything. Guys, we're getting very philosophical here. If it's not nothing, it is indeed everything. So if it's not nothing, it has to be something. I think something might be probably a better word. This kind of makes me like think of Ricky Bobby. If you're not first, you're last. So, and here we go. So if you want to sell your data to, well, if you want to pay David Weiss to take your data, this is a great app. I'm skipping past this ad, which is the remainder of the video. So something that I did notice is they have a Flat Earth podcast. I saw it, I think it was on David Weiss's channel. Flat Earth, was it on this thing? So I did, yes, it was this must-see videos. So what does David Weiss endorse on his, well, website, I'm guessing? So the Nikon, the upgrade from the P900, the P1000, proving flat earth once again. Anthony Bear. So this is absolute gems if you want videos to debunk. So let's start with Anthony Bear. Let's see what he has.
So here we are at the boat launch. It probably looks like a pretty clear day.
At the boat launch.
Let's take a
Great.
look. Here's a tower on Gull Island.
Okay, so there's a tower. Let me guess he's gonna go far away and still see the tower, but probably not all of the tower.
Let's see how far away it is. And it looks like the brown grass is about 6 feet high. And here we are at the Selfridge boat launch. And
so he says that brown grass is 6 feet high. So I personally am 5'11". It might be as tall as me. It's difficult to say from this angle, but it probably has something to do with all the fakery.
And here we are at the Selfridge boat launch. And let's see how far Gull Island is.
So boat launch. And I think that was 33 feet, probably elevation.
And it's 9.9 miles.
Okay,
Here
so
we are
let's
zoomed out to give you an idea.
round up a bit.
Let's set up our camera.
Also, from this shot, I've got no proof that this is Gull Island. But let's carry on.
The camera is 20 inches off the platform.
Okay.
And the platform is 48 inches off
So he said 28 and that's 48, so what, 76 inches?
the water.
4 feet.
And the camera height is 68 inches off the water. And here's the tower zoomed in on the camera. And not very clear because it's a sunny day.
Oh, it's 20 extra. I just heard that incorrectly. Again, this just shows me he's hovering a tape above water. No proof of it touching.
The water.
But it doesn't seem that far. But according to the Google Maps that he shows here in the beginning, right here in the beginning, where was that? Over here, the point where he's at
Here we
should
are.
have an elevation of 33 feet. Over here, he has 4 feet from the water and then another almost, how high was the camera? Almost 2 feet. So that's 6 feet instead of the 33. So let's carry on. Doesn't prove anything yet. I never pressed play.
68 inches off the water. And here's the tower zoomed in on the camera. And not very clear because it's a sunny day. But you can see it's from
So
that
not
position.
very clear, first of all. Sunny day, so light refraction. Also, there's an entire atmosphere in your way. But let me guess, you saw the pole.
And let's take a look and see what it looks like from the camera.
Jeez. Anthony should get out of the street. People are honking at you. Okay, wait. So I'm guessing that's the pole. Is it that? I just want to see something here. Explain to me where all these trees went. Well, actually, where all these trees went. There is the only thing similar in these two pictures is the telephone. I'm guessing like a 5G pole. So, Anthony, better watch out. You're going to catch COVID there. That was a joke, guys. I don't believe 5G causes COVID. So, please don't slaughter me. Let's carry on to see what Anthony tries and illustrates on this extremely blurry image.
Here's a still photo. I took it.
I want to see something. He said that place was Gull Island. Can someone show me a map? Oh, I'm not on Chrome. Okay, never mind. Go directions. Let's do Bing Maps. I don't think it's that Gull Island. Because he's quite American. So let's do, there was Michigan. Is it this one? Yes. Okay. So, where did it go? So there it is. Judging from the land masses, let me just go back where he zooms in.
Sunny day. But you can see it's from that position.
So, just want to see because there is cars hooting at him. there are roads on this. And then he is at like a jetty where it's quite square. We're approaching it. With water on the right though. Show me your location again, please. Selfridge public boat launch. Selfridge public boat launch. So that's where he's at. Oh, I was on completely. So how many Gull Islands are there in this country? Oh, this is Canada, probably. Border. Okay. So now where is Gull Island over here? Because I've got a feeling that old Anthony is looking at the wrong. He's probably looking at this. He's most definitely looking at this. Where's... Okay, I want satellite view, please. There's some trees. Just want to see. Yeah, so he's probably over there. We've got some land mass to the side of him. There. And directly behind it is the island he's panning to. So is that Gull Island? Or what's this place called? Strawberry Island. Now, Bing Maps is not great. Let's go to Google Maps. So if we have a look at, I just want the location. Just give me the location, please. I want to see if there is a street view. Okay. Then old Anthony. Never really get a clear picture of the direction he's heading in. I think flat earthers, if you are listening, next time you do something similar trying to debunk the spherical earth, once you put your camera down, take a compass, and then just show the direction that you're pointing it into, it would make my life and all the other debunkers' lives a lot easier. Hi there, Insider. I found a great website on David Weiss's YouTube called Flat Earth Dave, where he shares his top picks of videos. Top picks of videos sorted in years for us. He's got Flat Earth Coffee, which probably tastes terrible, but currently Anthony Bear is trying to show us that we see to Gull Island from this point. What's this place called? Selfridge Public Boat Launch. I've not been able to find Gull Island in this mess of islands. but it's most probably Strawberry Island, which is this. And the ridge of trees that he sees is probably this. And I was looking for a street view. Any street view available here? Nothing. So yes, Anthony Bear is trying to say that we are seeing too far. Yeah, you're right. Next time you're trying to disprove the globe Earth, you're just purely wrong. I'm still trying to figure out where old Anthony might be. But yes, it is this. So there, I'm going to go back to my, I just want to see, so houses. So that strip there on the far right is probably this marina. Let's go back. Guessing those are boats, which then means going past that into this general. Yeah, he's looking at Strawberry Bay. If somebody can find me Gull Island, that would be great. I just want to see in the direction. He shows it there on his little video where Gull Island is. So let's start.
And looks like the brown grass is about 6 feet high. Boat launch, and let's see how far Gull Island is.
So there you go, past that point. There's the other point. Okay. There you just conveniently skip past Strawberry Island. So Gull Island is this. This is Gull Island. Please tell me, in your general direction, Anthony. Oh, wow. How misleading he wants to be. So, I think I have to go to Google Earth to do the little line drawing. But let me just show you, Anthony, what you've just done. Where is, oh, there's Earth. So take me to whatever this place is, please. Okay, so in your general direction that you are looking out at, Anthony, how do I add now this thing? So I'm gonna be, I heard a car hoot, so it's probably on this pier. So I'm gonna go the furthest point possible. Maybe we can go there. And then Anthony, you want to go to Gull Island, which is that point. Oh, you can be very glad that you can still see it. Because I thought for a moment this Gull Island would be past all of this. You had me there for a moment. The other one that I'm saying this is Strawberry Island, which again, go to there. Is that so? 9.4 kilometers. Let's do freedom units. 5.85 miles, Anthony. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Only time I use Google Maps is if I'm lost. So, please tell me that this has street view that I can view somewhere here. Damn. Because I am almost certain that that line of trees that we are seeing is this tree line. Because again, let's have a look at whatever this place, Gull Island. There's conveniently these people are partying. Okay. So these are for the entire goal island in distance is, if we just take this cross section that you think you are seeing, good old Anthony, this cross section there is a mere 120 meters, 400 feet, probably let's do yards, 139 yards. This that you are looking at over here, let's get back to that, is a lot more from perspective. So we've got thinning trees on the right hand side there, all the way a thick tree line that goes up to probably this point, and my cursor is not displaying there. Let's quickly rectify that. All the way, and why did it just switch off? All the way, my cursor showing now. So let's zoom back in.
Here's a still photo.
No, I don't want your still. So let's start with the thinning trees over there, with a lighthouse, thinning trees, thick brush, all the way through, thick brush, only ending over there. Now please tell me if that is 140 yards. And again, I am convinced you are looking at this island over here. At most, you are looking at this, but again, no trees. Probably, but again, where's the lighthouse? Because the lighthouse is quite close to what you are viewing at the angle you are viewing it. I don't see a lighthouse there. Could it be an air traffic tower? But I digress. Anthony is taking up some time now. So no, this is all invalid because, Anthony, you're looking at the wrong thing. He's doing the 8 inches per mile thing.
And
so height, you did 5.6 feet. Again, at the beginning, according to your map's location, a height of 33 feet.
type in 5.6 feet, which is 68 inches, and for our height. Then we're going to type in 9.9 miles, the distance.
You can see it's miles.
And then we're going to hit calculate, and we get a hidden height of 32 and a half feet. So at 10 miles out, the bottom of the tower should be missing, and you shouldn't be able to see the grass. The horizon should be.
Wrong. So the way height works, let's go to Desmos. So, I want the graph. There you are. So the way that height is calculated, so let's just do a normal circle, x squared plus y squared. Let's do 4 because then we have a radius. Let's do 25. So you just showed that you measure it from there out with a line going through that point. So let's draw in. I'm going to draw a line on, what's that, 3 and 4. So this doesn't pass, oh, it does pass there. And 4 and 3. So that would be, let's do it there. Just going to do it through that point so we can just do y equal to x. Okay. So you just said that, let's say a tangent from there, you just draw a straight line. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. How it does work is you have a height on this side. The object has a height on that side. You then view it from your height past the horizon to the object, not just the horizon to the object, because there is a big old Earth in the way. Okay, on that note, while I'm here, we've all seen that this was a circle. Does this appear flat or not? That's my whole point with flat Earth, is it seems flat, so it must be flat. This seems flat. Should this be flat? No. Because, guess what? It's a circle. What's the radius of the Earth? Let's do the radius. So 6,000 kilometers. I'm going to work in kilometers. Let's do 6,300 squared because it's a circle. Now I'm going to have to zoom out a lot. Just remove this. Now, on top of the Earth, let's remove the axes. Where's my tools? Let's do that. Remove that. Okay, now I want the numbers though. I want to prove a point. This distance from there to there is a kilometer. So from there upwards is a kilometer. If we go to the grid, the distance from there to there is a kilometer. So now, hiding this, can you tell if it's flat or not? This is over a distance of, let's go 4, zoom out a bit. So from 5, -5, up to 7. So that's a distance of 12 kilometers. Can you tell me if it's flat or not? Let's zoom out. Now we are from -16 all the way to 10. That's 26 kilometers. Can you tell me if it's flat or not? Now you can start seeing the curve. Why? Because there's a straight line. But as soon as I take that straight line away, can you tell me if this is flat or not? No. Because it's very big circle and this is very small distances. This is a distance of -65 up to 50. So 115 kilometers. And you can barely tell that it's curving. Now, what's your explanation for that, flat earthers? They really just ruffle my feathers. Yes, and there Anthony shows us a picture of himself. We'll see it now. So a nice selfie of Anthony. So it's Anfunny. So because it's funny, so it's Anfunny Bear. Thanks, Anfunny. Let's see what else there is to prove in David Weiss's must-see videos. Okay, so that was the Nikon P1000 proving nothing. Flat Earth perspective. I think, it's another Anthony, I'm done with him, but I think Dave McKeegan did a video on the perspective and the table, the one with the coin, where they move the coins out. So, beyond the horizon, is that a swan? Black swan. I want something fun, man. Give me, what is biblical cosmology? Depends on how you translate the original Greek and Hebrew of the Bible. That all depends on what your biblical cosmology is. Let's go International Fake Station. Who's this?
Now, it's not every
Who are you? Who is speaking? Someone tell me. Okay? Nobody tell me.
day that a space company exposes another space company's lies. But today, we're going to be looking at how the SpaceX satellite train completely debunks the notion of an ISS that is orbiting a ridiculous 17,500 miles around.
Okay. So, you're using something in space to show that space isn't real and something in space isn't real. Am I getting this right? How on Earth's name
Now,
do you
it's not every
explain
day
this?
that a space company
this
exposes another space company's
SpaceX
lies.
train,
But today, we're going to be looking at how
the
the
Starlink
SpaceX satellite train completely
how do you explain
debunks
that
the notion of an ISS.
without space? Because, again, I know satellites, weather balloons. If those are individual balloons, how are they kept together like that, not drifting towards and away from each other, not drifting all over the place, and air currents keeping them in a perfect straight line just across the sky? How?
That is orbiting a ridiculous 17,500 miles around a spinning ball Earth. Now,
how is the SpaceX satellites orbiting around Earth then? It's these things and the things like it that you, community, as a flat Earth community, cannot wrap your head around. Show SpaceX and say, look, that's why NASA is fake. And then in your next video, see SpaceX is fake. So you only believe them when they fit your narrative or when you want to use them to debunk the flat of the spherical Earth. I mean, come on, guys. If you can wake up in the morning and be one thing, just be better.
Now, this ISS is reportedly slightly larger than a football field. Have you ever seen the ISS physically being built? I haven't.
I think the ISS was assembled piece by piece in space. I want to search this now. So there's cartoon, you won't believe that. So there, full ISS assembly mission.
New Everclar
Bing, what are you doing? No.
Easy Gel Cream
Please. And I don't want ads.
by La Roche-Posay, powered by Derm Recommended Actives.
Why can't I?
We're going around the world.
Thanks, Bing, for ruining.
Around the world, awful.
Full mission documentary by Retrospace, first ISS assembly mission.
Fast.
There's no video evidence, guys.
Quick and frequently.
So I was smiling at the guys in the cabin and they didn't smile back. And I realized
I want to get to
they
some
couldn't see me.
full assembly.
Knots from module to module.
Ever had a conversation at work you wish you could do over again?
So I did apologize in the beginning that I do not have this on my premium account because this is my burner account. I don't want any of this filth. But it's ISS, so it's fine. But any of the flat earth filth on my algorithm.
Meet Roleplay by Udemy.
So I'm just going to mute that. They're not paying me, so you don't have to listen.
Connecting node on the Mir space station does, but also is equipped with 6 docking ports for a variety of different components.
Let's go back to what Tommy said. If photo evidence is all you need, you'll believe anything.
Slightly larger than a football field. Have you ever seen the ISS physically being built? I haven't. So how do we know it even exists?
So I wasn't in space, but there's video proof. You guys like to use video proof to show that the Earth is flat. How about video proof of the ISS being built? I mean, it's that simple.
Well, it doesn't. And today we're going to be looking at that.
Wait, what does it?
So how do we know it even exists?
No, it
Well,
doesn't.
it doesn't. And today we're going to be looking at that.
I'm just going to mute that because, again, YouTube's going to tell me that I didn't pay for that song.
When you compare two objects in the sky that are basically two different altitudes and significantly different in sizes, that we should be able to then observe that in our skies. The satellites are the first of a planned 12,000 satellite mega constellation. Now, I'm not sure if that's a sly way of them wanting to make artificial constellations that we see in the sky, but they've already received a number.
Artificial constellations. Then who put the constellations we currently have there? We've been launching rockets only since, I think, late 50s into space. Constellations have been there thousands of years. I mean, wow. So that's also fun. So astrology, so your star sign and all that is determined, I think, by where the moon, in which constellation the moon is on the time of your birth, something like that. But the zodiac charts were set up like, how long ago was it? I think probably 1,000, close to 2,000 years ago. Now, if we follow the constellation paths, they shift. So they've got like their own like year, basically. So or their own cycle. So I think it's every almost 12,000 years, the constellations do a full rotation and they are back at the position where they are. So now, 1,000 odd years later from where the zodiac charts were set up, all the zodiac signs have shifted a month on. So if you thought, I don't even know what, let's do zodiac for June. June zodiac, what? None of these tell me what you are. January month, astrology. June is Gemini and Cancer. So now, if you are born in July, like I am, I should technically not be a Leo. I should be a Gemini or a Cancer because it shifted a month on. And so now tell me that I'm a Leo or whatever. So again, bad science. It's just a flawed concept. So yeah, so back to constellation. So we are making new constellations to put in the sky to give you a new zodiac sign, because its zodiacs are also true, and you should definitely believe in them. And then if they are true, the earth is flat, and if we can convince you that there's new constellations just randomly out of the blue, we can show you that the earth is not flat. I think I lost my entire train of thought there, but that's the basis of any flat earth video.
Of complaints from astronomers and people alike. Now they want this 12,000 satellites to provide internet access to the people on Earth, which is probably the most stupidest idea anyway.
So stars visible to the naked eye, depending on where you live. So South Africa has got quite a lot of open grasslands. We've got a lot of lodges and game farms and stuff like that. I mean, I stay in a city. I can drive for 15 minutes and I'm on a game farm. I'm in the middle of a field surrounded by bucks and buffalo, and it's just that's South Africa. And if you're out there, the number of stars you can see is definitely more than 12,000. if you stay in a city, in a city like New York, for example, where it's daylight all the time, yes, somebody shining a torchlight from the top of their building will outnumber the stars you can see. So what's the point?
I mean, I don't understand how anyone would want to spend that sort of money putting these satellites into the sky when...
So why would anyone want to put satellites in the sky? Do you know what Starlink's mission is? So Starlink wants basically internet for everybody, just very quickly summed up. But we've got a 5G, the silent killer. Wait, guys, sidebar. But anyway, before I go on that tangent, so Starlink wants to give communication to the entire world. You know how great that is. Again, in a country like South Africa, it's great. I can drive 15 minutes and then I'm in the middle of a field in a game farm. But then again, if I'm on that game farm in the middle of the field, I've got no signal. I don't have, I can't call anybody. It's quite difficult. So we sail a catamaran, a small 16-foot catamaran, and the place where we sail is a dam close to here. And once you drive, so the dam is down, and once you drive down, the signal's gone. And we are quite, on a weekend, a lot of people there. And yes, we have rescue boats and stuff, but if something happens there and somebody needs immediate emergency services, we won't be able to call anybody. And that is kind of what Starlink will be for. So again, Starlink's also not available in South Africa as of yet because the government, it's available in like all the countries around us. It's available in Lesotho, which is a country inside of our country, not our country. But I'm not a political channel. So let's look at 5G, the silent killer. Thousands of mini cell site towers built in front of homes across the UK. 5G will use higher, more powerful electromagnetic frequencies, millimeter and sub-millimeter microwaves that will penetrate the body. 5G frequencies are used in military weapons. Human skin will be classified as extremity, allowing higher frequencies. 5G, what? Human skin will be classified as an extremity, allowing higher frequencies. Okay, there's no full stops in this. I'm not sure when to stop and when to, okay, but anyway, 5G will roll out without any health evaluations. 5G goes ahead, will cause massive health impacts on all life on Earth. So 5G has been around for just before the COVID pandemic. So it's been, let's say 2019. I remember 5G rollout started in South Africa at like the start of 2020. So 2019, so it's 6 years. How many death cases have you had? And don't tell me the people who died of COVID was because of 5Gs. It's not that. I need to find, I did I mentioned in the previous stream, I did my entire final year paper for radiation physics on 5G because it was literally the year of the pandemic. It was 2020. That was my final year, or my final undergraduate year. And that was what my paper was about. And I think I got a 92%. So it was well done. And guys, 5G literally does nothing to your body. I'll do a full explainer on radiation and the effects it has on the body. If 5G harms your body, so if you worry about the more powerful frequencies, which doesn't make sense, but more powerful frequencies. So light, so like visible light, has a higher frequency, so more powerful frequency than 5G. It's all electromagnetic radiation. It's all on the spectrum. It's just this has more energy than 5G. Now, why isn't anybody stopping you from putting a light in your house? The sun emits ultraviolet and X-ray, but the X-ray gets absorbed in the ozone in the upper, so it's fine. Not in the ozone, in the upper layer of the atmosphere and stuff like that. So it's fine. UV gets absorbed in the ozone. Some of it still makes it through. UV actually can cause cancer. Have you ever wondered why you turn brown in the sun and not under a light? Because no, not the sun is hotter and you're getting toasted. It's because of the UV. Sunbeds, so the tanning beds that you can lie in, those lights emit UVA and UVB. So not good for you. But yet people flock to them, and people flock to the beaches to go and sunbathe. So if you are afraid of 5G, you are not allowed to ever leave your house and go in the sun. You are not allowed to install any lights in your house. And I'm guessing you don't even use a microwave. But you are not allowed to use remote controlled systems because they use infrared, which is also has more energy than 5G, more energy than microwave radiation. So yes, if you are afraid of 5G, you should also be afraid of your TV remote. But carrying on.
5G is literally killing the market.
It's literally killing the market.
Pun intended. Now, they supposedly launched 60 Starlink satellites into the atmosphere at a ridiculous altitude of 440 kilometers.
It's not that ridiculous.
Now,
you know how big space is, and you know how big the Earth is. It's not that... Wait, where's my Desmos? It's not that difficult to believe. So from... That is 6,000... Let's put there. So x equal to 0 from 6,000 curly bracket 6,300 y, and then that was 440 kilometers, so that's 400, so that's 6,740. That's how high it is compared to the Earth. Is it that ridiculous? Is it really that ridiculous? But I digress. That's the wrong tab.
Footage was taken in the Netherlands of the satellite
Netherlands? It's the Netherlands.
So pay attention to the size of the light that you see on each satellite. And keep in mind that the size...
Take a look at the size of the light. I challenge you to take an LED light and stand, just an LED, I'm not talking about reflections and stuff that this is, but just, or your cell phone flash. Just take it and go stand there for somebody stand there, and then you about guess how big it is with your fingers. And then keep that distance and let the guy walk closer. Then tell me if you guessed correctly.
The size of these satellites are reported to be the size of an office desk. Now, these satellites also appear to have, well, they say that...
So they are the size of an office desk at launch. I'm guessing this is what this next graphic is. Size of an office desk at launch. But once they are in space, they need solar panels to charge their batteries, because otherwise, what's the use of them there if the battery's going to run out? So now they expand. So now you've got an office desk. So what's the standard? My office desk here is, that's about 600 by let's say 1.5. So that's, and then it's about a meter high. I don't know what it is in freedom units, but so it's quite large. And now you need to eject two, well, technically four massive sets, well, two sets, so four massive solar panels out of it. It's gonna get big.
They've got a solar wing, which is being depicted here by CGI. Now we know how space companies are quite renowned for their CGI images. They love painting that little pretty picture of what space would be like, so you're going to have to use your imagination for the rest. Next,
if Jupiter, because I'm guessing it's just pasted there and what, if Jupiter is in a box, how can there be light leakage out? Please show, I want to see this live, how you edit this image to get to that image. Show me the processes you follow. So I studied medical physics, was one of the degrees I did, where we have image analysis and processing. I want to see what you did here, because you did everything wrong.
they love painting that little pretty picture of
A pretty little picture.
what space would be like, so you're going to have to use...
NASA has you bent over. I'm not going to say, I wanted to say something, but I'm going to keep quiet. This is a family channel. I've got a little visitor who wants to come sit on my lap. Sorry, just come. This cat's name is Gesiggie. So Gesiggie is the Afrikaans word for little face, because I mean, just look at that little face. So yeah, this is Gesiggie. She loves sitting on my lap. Any case, yeah, family channel. I will not speaking about who has who bent over and who is sucking what from who, but let's carry on.
Use your imagination for the rest. Now, let's see what SpaceX CEO has to say about the solar arrays during the initial orbit. Following the
This
chorus
feels
of
like a
concerns,
documentary.
SpaceX founder and
Absolutely
CEO
none of this
Elon
has
Musk
been any use.
responded, the satellite solar arrays... Okay, so here is some footage that people have captured of the satellites.
Okay.
Now, the first
Great.
thing that you'll notice is that they just happen to look as bright as the ISS.
Why
The
is it
next
only-
thing that you'll notice is that they just so happen to be going this same apparent speed as the ISS. And it just so happens to look...
But I missed the ISS.
happen to look as bright as the ISS. The next thing that you'll notice is that they just
there's
so
the
happen to be going this same apparent speed as the ISS. And it just so happens to look similar in size as the ISS. It's easy to see what...
Okay. Now, tell me, let's find these three. So this one, this one, this one, this one. All of these stars. Those two at the top. These two here on the left. Those two. All have the apparent same size. So, all of them for the same size. Yet, if you actually go and search, I've got no idea what these stars are, but I can put money on it that they are not the same size. So please, I'm sounding like Sabrina Carpenter now. That is absolute hogwash. I'm gonna keep it a family channel. Stating the obvious, you said very quiet. Very quiet about what? Sorry, I missed some chat here. So we have some chat. Taking on Ratwood. Yeah. Look, as a South African, I felt obliged. So I felt obliged to take him on. No one ever saw radio waves, therefore the program must be distributed via power. Yeah, I mean, even radio waves. So I just can't. I can't with these people. They really are like causing me physical pain. Yes, my mom bakes cakes. It is Satelloons. Oh, I've reduced the volume of the video, stating the obvious, to keep YouTube overlords not giving me a strike, because there is some music and stuff in the background that I'm not sure if it's licensed or if it's in the public space. So I kept it a bit lower. Yeah, so Satelloons, yes, and they can keep the Satelloons perfectly spaced out from each other, moving in a very straight line with without any air currents disturbing their path. I mean, that's amazing. Flirts know everything better. Yes, it reminds me of that song in Rapunzel, Mother Knows Best. It's Flirts Knows Best. Sunbathers are mad. Yes, I absolutely despise sitting in the sun when we go to the beach. So we stay, the closest beach to us like 600 kilometers. So that's about, let's say, 400 miles. So we go there about once or twice a year, go for like a week or something. My wife loves, she can chill in the sun the whole day. I don't want to do that. So yeah, we always find a compromise when we go there. For the Jupiter picture, they used the lowest resolution they could. Yes, the lowest resolution, and then just crank the saturation. They just absolutely, or they first invert the color. It seems, yeah, so they first do invert the color, and then they crank the saturation. That's about that. I'm guessing that's what they do. So yeah.
And it just so happens to look similar in size as the ISS. It's easy to see what's going on.
Very creative. Who's the master of Photoshop now?
On here, guys. Yet, since I think critically about what I'm saying, I get called the...
A balloon satellite, sometimes referred to as a satelloon, satellite inflated with gas after it's been put into orbit. I did not know that, but I think, I'm just guessing here, that my mom bakes cakes is the satelloons that flat earthers get when they say all satellites are just balloons. It's weather balloons, man. Don't listen to them. So I'm guessing it's that, but I'll have a look at this. I knew that there were some like probes in the atmosphere that have helium balloons attached to them. So
Crazy conspiracy theorist. By far, the most reflective element of a satellite are its solar arrays.
there's your answer. This guy's irritating me now because he literally says it's a satellite. So here, it's a satellite that has a solar panel. We can see light reflecting off the solar panel, and then Google's to find that the most reflecting surface on a satellite is the solar panel. I think David Weiss needs to update his must-watch videos. Let's go to 2020. I want to see, wait, was this only August? Wait. I remember this guy. What was his name? The TikTok guy. I should have a look at him again. I just can't remember his surname. Or his name. Caleb. It's Caleb. I remember him now. I don't want the clock. Please. I'm done. No. Okay, I'm done with this virus. So, David Weiss, thanks for nothing. How often does David Weiss post his own videos that he actually talks in? Perspective challenge. Little J-Mans.
Now I've got them on a ball. So if we look at this guy right here, all the other guys are down.
He doesn't have to put them on the ball. They can probably float on the water. If you get it. Kyle. Oh, is it Kyle? I think. Okay. I'll have a look at him again. But yeah, so David, J-Man himself can walk on the water. You don't have to put him on a ball on the water.
In a way, if you lived on a ball, that's what things would look like. Everything would be.
These figurines are probably, let's say, 1/5 the size of that ball. You know how big that is? So, okay, let's do 1/6. It's literally this distance. On Earth, each one of them would be almost 2,000 kilometers. You do realize that. If you put them on Earth, each of them, how tall is the tallest building? Not Dubai, I want the world. Okay, so it's still the Burj Khalifa. 800 meters. That's 3 Burj Khalifas almost. To get to this scale. Perspective, great. But scale, David. Scale is important.
Down and away. No matter where you are, the other guys should never be up. The water.
We've got something called topography. Because we've got mountains and hills and valleys, and so nobody is ever going to be on the exact same level, as you like to call it.
Water's flat. This,
David, like I said, the distance between those two little figurines you've got would probably be 1/4 of the size of the Earth. You might think you understand perspective, but you definitely do not understand scale.
that would be like the close boat and the far boat. The farther boat should be lower, but that's not how we see, because the world, we don't live on a ball.
We don't live on a basketball. If you want this scale to be accurate, the radius of the Earth, there's what, 6 of them in here. So that is what, 48. So that the radius of the Earth, the diameter of the Earth, should be 4,800 kilometers. So the radius should be 2,400 kilometers. You want me to show you how big that is, David? Let's just copy all of this. What did I say? 2,400. That's how big your Earth should be compared to the actual Earth. If those figurines are as tall as the Burj Khalifa, you truly are a piece of work.
Does that make sense?
And it's just click
My
on
work
an
is easy
ad.
because
Nope, I don't want your work.
Now I've got.
So, David, 20 seconds of his videos are, well, let's say half of them. So half the time of your video is you misunderstanding everything, and the other half is just an ad for your data collection agency, which is this thing. Again, it's not me. I'm not collecting your data. It's David. So, Echo 1 was a Satelloon. Loon LLC was a company making balloon-based communications for rural areas. Oh, up to 2021. Yeah, also the figurines are disappearing bottom first. So yeah, I don't know what David Weiss is on about. So yeah, let me just fix, because I see the chat is cutting off at the bottom. Do it up to there. Yeah, so David Weiss is an extreme piece of work. Why am I not centered? Okay, have I not been centered the whole time? So David Weiss is truly a piece of work. So yes, like I said in the description of this video, I have taken a small hiatus since the start of June. I did explain a bit in the beginning, so I did get a new job. So I did get a new job, so I've been working very hard to maintain everything. So I'm actually kind of juggling 2 jobs at the moment, so it's been good. I've been busy, so I haven't gotten to any videos at all. So I've forced myself to start doing live streams. I'm not going to only do live streams. I'm going to do probably 2 live streams a week starting now. Next week, Monday, I will have a members only live stream, which will just be chatting with me, keeping me company while I go through videos, writing scripts and doing all that fun stuff. So that's just the members live stream, Q&As, so it will be different every week, but mainly having just keeping me company as I research some more insanity. I will also be transitioning in with the channel a bit. So I'm gonna keep with the debunkings, but I'm gonna add some educational videos. So I do have some explainers on like quantum mechanics and stuff like that, but the transition into the education that I'm going to do is more focused on the South African curriculum. Like so I work as software developer during the day, and then in the afternoons I do help some kids. Who are struggling with their like science and maths. So I do tutor science and maths extra classes daily from like 5 to 7 in the evenings. So I'm going to do some focus on them, some videos focusing on them for some explainers on topics that I know they struggle with, just some deep dives. And yeah, so it's going to be South African curriculum based. So there will be probably starting in September, as our matrics, our grade 12s, the final years in school, are starting with their exams the 1st of September. So I'll probably start focusing on them first. And then, yes, so from there on, it's just going to be fun, loving, and that's going to continue life. So yeah, Bynon, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I hope I did it. It's either Benin or Bynon. Life first, job second, YouTube last. Yes, yeah. So YouTube has come last, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm gonna work on it a bit. Want to grow the channel some more. To get YouTube to be the job is the goal in the end. So if YouTube can be the job, I'd be happy. And then updates in life. Like I said in the beginning, we were busy renovating the house as well. Up next, so the entire house is painted, so you see there are no more Legos, but fear not, they will be back. They'll be up again as soon as I'm done with the study / office / studio, because me and my wife both work from home and we share like an office space. So that's the next step, is to sort it out, because it's only for a month now that she's been working from home. So that's the idea. And then, yeah, I'll just pump out some community posts just to get some engagement. Do please share with everyone, everywhere, all at once, for them to please come and just subscribe. They can subscribe and never watch a video. No, I'm kidding. At least just put the video on while you're sleeping. Yeah, so sleep tube is a thing. And then, yeah, that's about it from my side. If there's anything ever you want to know, if you've got video suggestions, this what do you call it? This website of David Weiss that I found now is gonna be my source of YouTube videos for the next while, until I can, or well, at least until you guys send me video suggestions as well. I just want to see if I have a link at the bottom here. So I saw my chat closed there for a moment. I do have a video suggestion link that I'm just going to paste in the chat. And then it is also linked down in the description. So if you want to suggest a video, there you can go. If you would like to get involved in the channel, I do have memberships. Like I said, there's going to be member streams either every Monday or every Thursday, depending on the week. There's going to be member streams as well as Patreon streams the other day. So if it's member the Monday, it's Patreon the Thursday, or if it's member the Thursday, then it's Patreon the Monday. And yes, so if you'd like to get involved, it does help a lot. What will help even more is sharing all my content. That does help even more than you becoming a member or a Patreon. So yes, that's all from my side. A huge thank you to the current members and patrons for continued support. Even though I've been absent from YouTube this past 2 months, your support, I've really been appreciating it. So yes, next time we will be live streaming. Again, there will be a poll on the community tab, so it will either be Friday, maybe Saturday. It all depends on how my weeks go. And then expect some content from me coming in the next month or so. But thanks everyone for tuning in, for watching me rant and rave about how flat earthers are dumb. We all know they are. It's just fun to point it out. It's always a pleasure to have you here, and I hope to see you at the next live stream. Thanks, and bye-bye.